Welcome to Go For Side Effects. I'm your host, Kevin Simon, and you all know my most beautiful, bald-headed co-host, John. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing okay, man.
You deserve that tonight.
Oh, okay.
Everybody knows Wade. Wade, how you doing?
Doing good.
Sarah, how are you doing today?
Another day in paradise, Kevin.
Oh my gosh, I like that. Well, we got a special guest tonight. We got Miss Hope, Frances Hope. That's the way I wanted to say it this evening, who is a Army veteran. I just want y'all to know it's 4 against 1, and I will still kick y'all's ass in a football game. Just let it be known that the Navy usually beats Army's ass in football. It's just the way it is, the way it goes. So, Frances was in the Army during Desert Storm, but she was also in it in the early 80s, if I'm not mistaken. And she's going to talk a little bit about time she went in and where she was stationed, and we're going to get into the deep subjects tonight. Take it away.
Sounds great. Well, you guys, it's really such an honor and a privilege to meet y'all. My first name is Frances. My middle name is Hope. My last name is Lindemann. And I go by Hope. To be honest with you, I lost hope in the government, in our country, and them backing us up when we went to Desert Storm. But I'm going to back it up a little bit. I went in 1981. I tell people, I give away my age when I tell them that was when computers were on reel-to-reels.
Oh, I thought you were 25. See, y'all can learn a lot from me right there, guys. I just want y'all to know that. All right, keep going, Frances. Keep going, Miss Hope.
So that, and I did my 3-year term, and I got out in 84, and I went back in. It was about 88 or 89. I went back in the Army Reserves with the 114th Evac Hospital out of Texas, San Antonio, Texas, because that's where I'm from. My 3 little ones at home. I was being called to go to war, so we went there during Shield and Storm. Went to Bahrain and with the 114th Evac Hospital. It's your DEP Meds hospital. We can break down in about 24 hours and move anywhere else we need to go in less than 24 hours. One of the jobs we had to do was my job was administration. So I admit the people in the hospital, put the band on them and do their files, paperwork. But there were so many medical units out during Gulf War that our company commander had to find a spot for us. So he went ahead and volunteered us to be the EPW camp, which means we got to keep the enemy in our hospital.
Oh, damn.
So they got meals while we got MREs.
Oh.
Of course, Army's best. So, you had your regular jobs, like go do your work. You had guard duty. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but as a female having guard duty, I had my M16, but no bullets in it. So I don't know what I was supposed to do if the enemy came up.
What?
Maybe poke him with my M16. I don't know.
They didn't give you ammo?
No.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
What kind of crazy ass?
It's just small details. That's all.
But, okay.
That's not a small detail.
What kind of crazy ass bullshit you Army people going through?
Oh, ouch. Yes, that burned. So,
Man.
You had guard duty, and you also had, kitchen duty where you had to go help in the kitchen. But we also had, I didn't know there was a name to it, but we used outhouses. So we had to pull the barrels out, even as female, and we had to add mow gas and gasoline and burn it. The guys that are the enemy, while they're laid up in the beds, we were cleaning up after them, making sure they had hot meals, because America does abide by the Geneva Convention. If it was another country, they wouldn't give us that kind of treatment.
No shit.
So, no gas mask on when you had to burn poop, which I find out now is very carcinogenic. Well, I got out. When I came back into the U.S., I lost a lot. I went through a nasty divorce. I was suicidal. So what's the best thing to do is go back in. And that's what I did. This time I transferred over from the Army Reserves into the Army National Guard, being stationed in Fort Bliss, El Paso. Got paid active duty pay to wear civilian clothes and help Border Patrol and the help with a counter war program they had there. That's when I started noticing kidney stones. I ended up in the emergency room. So it was about 3 years after I got back from Gulf War. I was 35 years old, never had this issue before. I drink water all the time. Of course, being in the military, I drank a lot too, and coffee. But other than that, I was fit. I always ran. I used to love to run. And that's when I started noticing my first symptom.
Okay, well, I want to stop you there.
Mm-hmm.
Let me take a guess. They're calcium-based kidney stones. They tell you stay away from ice cream, which I haven't had in 35 freaking years. They tell you yes. They tell you stay away from tea. They tell you stay away from leafy foods. But I did talk to a kidney doctor when I was at the VA, and she said a lot of Gulf War veterans have kidney stones. She doesn't know why, but y'all, we produce them very fast. I've had 35 in 2 major operations.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah. So
I've had one, and that was too many.
Anybody out there that ever says you don't know what it's like to give birth, shit. I know what it's like to give birth. Yeah, Sarah's over there going, yeah, okay, yeah. Let's ask Miss Hope. Miss Hope, would you rather have a baby or would you rather have kidney stones?
Well, all 3 of my daughters I was not able to have naturally. So,
Right.
Yeah, but kidney stones, you're right. They're nothing to play with. I do have a high tolerance for pain. So only one time and one time only did I end up in the emergency room with them.
Ooh. No, I go every time. I remember I did some embarrassing story, but I'll tell y'all I like embarrassing myself anyway. So whenever right after I got out, it was about a year or 2 later. I was in the barbershop, man, and I had to go to the bathroom. Boy, let me tell you, I came running out of that bathroom. I'm sure I don't even know if I zipped up my pants. I don't know. And I told my brother, I'm going to the hospital. I had kidney stones. I jumped in my truck. I ran over there. I don't even know if I parked it. I ran inside. I started crawling because I was in so much pain. And I will never forget that nurse looked over and she's like, honey, what is wrong? And I said, I'm having kidney stones. And man, she started laughing. She goes, and I said, man, they put me in a hospital for about 3 weeks.
Oh, Lord.
Almost damn near killed me.
3 weeks.
Heck yeah.
Men are big babies.
Yeah, hell yeah, we are. Hey.
Wow.
Let me, but this kidney stone, hold on. But this kidney stone was 1.5 inches big. And it went through me. It ripped my tube, everything.
Oh my God.
And let me tell you, I cried like a baby.
I know
Biggest
you did. I know you did.
baby in the world. I was like, I'm sure. I mean, but what was good is they finally give you pain medicine. In the military, they never did. Bunch of bullshit. But I do want people to know a lot of us are getting kidney stones now. Francis, I want to go back a little bit because what a lot of people don't realize, there was a lot of females during Desert Shield, Desert Storm. And a lot of people don't realize that. The military women and the military men fought side by side. We were all there together. And I just don't think they get enough credit. So I want everybody to understand that this wasn't a man-woman or man-man-man war. This was, females were right alongside with us. And
who are you sucking up to?
I'm sucking up to everybody, brother. You can learn from me.
I'm kind of with John on this one.
No, I'm not sucking up to anybody. I'm just being honest.
He's giving us credit where credit is due.
That's right. And mark the words.
Women rule the world.
Most of the females, I mean, look, why didn't they give her bullets? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
you know, think about that. They want to, most guys, I mean, I can understand them not giving me bullets. I mean, honestly,
Me too.
but I mean, what the hell does that mean? But I mean, but I just don't think the women got credit where credit was due, being out there. And I mean, even like Sarah with the vaccine injuries, they're not getting credit where credit's due. And I mean, but most of the desultory vets aren't getting credit where credit's due. But I just want to acknowledge that. But now let's talk about why you were over there, because see, like they know Bahrain. Like, I don't know, have y'all seen the map that they put up now at the VA, and it shows if you've been in these locations, you were probably gassed.
It kind of cracks me up because I'm like, if you were in theater,
Right. But they have these maps. If you were in Bahrain, if you were in, you know,
Yeah.
Abu Dhabi, if you're here,
It
then
kind of looks like Jim's maps that he posts. It's the same.
Right.
It's the same map.
right. And so the VA kind of has that too, you know, because the VA.gov has that and everything. But Francis, now when you got out, besides the kidney stones, what else were you experiencing?
Well, I don't know if we're allowed to mention the anthrax shot that I got when I was in Saudi Arabia. I had a nightmare the day before we were supposed to get it. And I told my unit I did not want the vaccine. And I was told if I don't, then I would end up getting UCMJ action. And if I die while I'm there, my family would not get the money for soldier.
really, they just told you that up front.
Yep. And I asked them, I said, well, what has it been? And I'm in a hospital unit. And I asked them, well, what has it been experimented on? And they said monkeys. I don't know if any of y'all saw the film, but there is a film that shows that was the U.S. Army that purchased the anthrax vaccine. So that's neither here nor there. You know, we know we were guinea pigs. And I don't know if there was any truth to that. So not too long after the kidney stones, Kevin, I'm glad that something that you mentioned about calcium, something that some of you guys might know, and I'm going to bring up Sarah really enlightened me with so much, because there's words to the conditions we're going through that no one's told me about because I keep getting denied. So I thought, well, why keep going to the VA hospital? But one of the things is also heel spurs or plantar fasciitis. That is based by too much calcium as well. And I don't drink milk. I've never been a big milk drinker. So it's just some way, somehow our body with calcium has not been good. And also for females, it could be some tumors or some endometriosis as well. So that was around 1993. And about 1995, I started getting these unexplained dizzy spells. I'd be walking in the kitchen or cooking, and I would not know when it's coming on, but the whole room would spin. It wasn't vertigo, because people said when you have vertigo, it lasts for days, hours. This only lasted maybe a good 15 seconds, but I could not get it to go away. It was like back in the day when we used to drink and the whole room would spin. It was that experience.
Oh, shit. I remember them days.
Yes.
Yeah. It ain't fun.
I was in the Navy. We always drank. But yeah, golly, man, no.
Army too. Yeah.
Every branch.
It was that bad. Yeah.
Everybody drinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was therapy, cigarettes and alcohol.
Yeah. Smoke them if you got them. Yeah. So, but one thing I forgot to say, Kevin, because it still is an issue, is stomach, unexplained diarrhea. I don't know about you guys, but I know with our unit, we had to take these nerve agent pills or something like that. And it would always have you running to the restroom. So that was an issue. And brought up Sarah a minute ago, because when I first found out about Operation Truth, which I thank God, it was a godsend for me, because I had given up hope. I filed 3 or 4 times and kept getting denied. One of the things are tumors, female problems. And back in 1995, I had to have a tumor removed that was the size of a grapefruit. Didn't even know I was
Whoa.
carrying it. But Sarah mentioned to me when I found out on Rumble with Travis Purier about his book, and I was like, oh my God, I need to find out more from you guys. And I'm spreading the truth as fast as I can that it's public awareness. But Sarah she said to me, she mentioned something about endometriosis, headaches, nausea, diarrhea, stomach disorders, IBS. And I'm thinking in my head, yes, I had that. Yes. And then she used a word, autonomic, and I could still be mispronouncing it. My Spanglish gets in the way. Autonomic neuropathy. I think that's
Hell
what you
yeah.
said.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, okay, I can relate to that. Today, talking to a female that was in the Navy that was also in Gulf War, when I shared with her the truth Sarah shared with me, her mouth dropped and she was like, we need to talk. So Sarah, I want to introduce her to you too. She was in Gulf War and she was in the Navy. So I think that would be good to have her join with her story. So then anyway, the unexplained diarrhea, nauseousness, I have put up with it for so many years that it's just become life. And I don't know if it's a female thing. And it could be, Kevin, that we just did not know people cared what we've gone through. When I do events with, I have stem cell activation patches. When I share with the public about us being in Gulf War and anthrax shots, everybody gasp.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like you're waiting for them to go, oh! And how many times do we hear people say, not our country? Our country wouldn't do that. Hello, they've been doing it for years, since before the 60s.
Man.
Hope, what are stem cell activation patches? What's that?
I have one on, and it at age 30, our own stem cells just go dormant. By age 60, they aren't doing anything much anymore. That's how we used to get sick and bounce back really fast. And so Kevin mentioned about the kidney stones. I'm holistic. I've always tried to do things naturally as much as possible because I can't trust going to any medical facility. I can't trust if I'm going to be misdiagnosed. So I've always tried to do my own healing. When I found out about the kidney stones back in 2000, I was taking a holistic class, and the doctor told me on one of the pains I was having, he asked me if I have kidney stones. And I told him, I said, yes, I'm known to pass them. And he said, okay, well, I want you to sieve your urine and catch a stone for me so we can go in and do surgery on you. And Kevin, you probably know what I'm talking about, but that's what they wanted to do, to see how big the kidney stones are. I mentioned it to my teacher when I was taking the holistic class, and she suggested that I take hydrangea. Hydrangea is those big, beautiful purple mum looking flowers, purple or pink looking flowers, and they actually dissolve kidney stones. So I started taking the capsules, and they little bitty rocks that look like stones went to really fine fibers. So I noticed that the hydrangea is doing what it should do. So that's when I started learning a little bit more about taking things holistically. So back to the patch, my kidney stones did go away, but once in a while they'd still show up. I just didn't end up in the emergency room. I just kind of grin and bear it. So about 2 years ago, a friend of mine introduced the patches to me. And I thought, well, I'll try it out. And after 3 months of being on it, when I get headaches, my headaches last 3 days. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. And they weren't migraines because I could handle the light. I could handle it now. 3 days.
Yeah.
And I opened my French door windows to look outside, and it had rained. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't get my headache. I normally will get a headache the day before it rains. And that's when I started realizing maybe there's something to these stem cell patches, stem cell activation patches. And what it does is, because we are light, our body's light and heat, it's set that you put it on, it sends a signal to your stem cells and also activates the GHK copper peptides. Do you know when we got COVID, or those of who did get COVID, that attacked your copper peptides? when we had brain fog, stuff like that. Well, then I noticed my headaches were gone, diverticulitis was gone, acid reflux was gone. And Kevin, I have not passed kidney stones in over a year. It's been a year and a half, to be honest with
Well,
you.
that thing, really?
Yeah, I know it. I there was a man this week I patched up. He was in a lot of pain, and he said he's only 66, and he said he's able to move again. So, yeah, I try to do things as much as possible holistically. I just saw the VA hospital because I'm back on filing again and back on doing my claim again. And they said I have an underactive thyroid. So that's why I have this here. It's glutathione that I have on, that it activates the glutathione that's naturally in my body, but it activates the glutathione stem cells in my body to help with my thyroid so it won't be underactive, which is something we all have too as well, from what I understand.
You are correct. It's a high prevalence of a hypothyroid.
Yes, yes.
Of both hyper and hypo. There's a definite concern with our endocrinology system, with the lack of ability to balance our hormones and our neurotransmitters and all those other chemicals that are so important. And there's a hypothesis and reason as to why. There's several out there, but we can speak to that after we get later on in the session here. But there is some great future therapies that are coming out. And of course, our government has been trying to suppress these therapies because they're individualized preventative healthcare therapies, and that just doesn't go along with their agenda. So I just wanted to jump in there. So sorry, I hope, go ahead and continue with your story here.
Wow, that's just amazing. So that's my regiment. If anyone's interested, they can text me or call me. Hope for Life is the website. Also, I'm on Facebook, so if they want to send me a messenger, that's fine too.
I like
can
that
hook them up with a
name.
couple of samples.
I like that name. Hope for Life.
Thank you. It was inspired.
Damn. That's a and here I name a show called Go for Side Effects. Son of a bitch. I mean, really. I mean, I like this show to be inspiring, even though I know sometimes it's not and everything. But this is inspiring. That, I mean, you're talking about the patch and the kidney stones. We're gonna talk. Oh shit, we're gonna talk. I just went to a hospital about 6 months ago for my last one, so I know the other ones do.
Oh my God. Yeah, I had to give a testimony to some friends, and she was asking me how often I was having kidney stones, and I told her at least 2 a month.
Holy wow.
And you know
Damn.
what? I was even doing CrossFit for 3.5 years, about 4 years ago. And even during CrossFit, which, it's constant pace, it's fast pace, I would still be freaking passing a kidney stone while trying to do some setups. And I mean, and Kevin, that you are wasted for the rest of the day.
No,
With diverticulitis, I would be down for 5 days.
Oh yeah, man. That diverticulitis ain't something to be playing with, man. That's some painful stuff.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about how does the VA, do you use the VA system, as far as going to the clinic just to do your routine checkups or any of that stuff, or do you go to an outside doctor?
Oh God, Kevin, you hit where it hurts, man. We're gonna have a long talk.
No, no, because I lost my insurance. I had Blue Cross Blue Shield, and then Obamacare came, and then all of a sudden I got this great VA system that I just really loved. Like y'all heard about that last week. That was just so awesome to me that almost made me go freaking nuts. But do you go in and a lot of people need to be in the VA system. Don't get me wrong. I think everybody should be in a VA system. Maybe not for clinical work or hospitalization, but just to get signed up, because if you don't get signed up with the VA and something happens to you, your loved ones don't get any of your benefits. So all you people out there that are like, I'm not going to the VA, I'm not going to sign up, none of that bullshit this. Get your ass over VA, just sign up. Go online, call the 1-800-827-1000, and just get signed up with the VA. So that way your loved ones get your benefits if you pass on, especially for elderly care. I'm going to bring that up. But
Terry, I always, when I choose to bitch about something, and that we're talking about the VA, I if I'm going to bitch about it, I'd like to say something positive, and not just complain, but have some sort of solution. Well, one of the solutions that the VA needs to rectify, and I'm not quite sure who came up with the idea. When you call someplace, it doesn't matter to seem who you call. When you call at some given point, in my experience, 100% of the time, if you feel suicidal, call this every time. And I'm like, I don't understand, because you have to sit there and, most of us, depending on what phone you have, you can see, okay, I've been listening to this crap for 3 minutes and I don't have a warm body yet. 3 freaking minutes. And you're like, and if you feel suicidal, blah, 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 blah. If I feel suicidal, I'm probably not going to hang on to the freaking phone.
Exactly.
I mean, and I'm just like, stop. Will you just stop? Because it's not beneficial.
No,
now, maybe somebody out there might argue the point with me, which is fine.
No,
I just, get
I'm
rid of it.
I'm not going to argue the point, but the one thing they need to change is the freaking ass music, because it's the same shit that's on. Like my daughter used to be, when she was a baby, we put that soothing music on for her, which I thought was annoying as shit. It's the same shit when I called the clinic. It's and I'm like, son,
put something on like you're promoting, or like you're getting the ZZ Top thing.
No, yeah, put ZZ Top, put Death Leopard, put some good shit on. I understand. I understand, but damn, to listen to freaking put soft rock or something. Quit with the baby music. Damn, every time I hear it, I'm over there going, well, shit, I guess I'm listening to Baby Monitor or somebody else's damn kid.
Yeah, I mean,
I want to answer your question real quick, because this is a good one. Okay, so when I was stationed, after I got out Fort Bliss with the counter drug program, I got out and I moved to Tampa, Florida. So that's when I started doing a battery of tests with the VA and started to put in a complaint about Desert Storm. I thought, well, let's go ahead and do this. And that was about 1995. Well, they do a battery of tests. I told them about the dizzy spell, so they had me do a sobriety test. I'm like, well, I'm not having the dizzy spell now, but that was.
Was that at Bay Pines by chance?
No, Tampa, Florida.
The Bay Pines VA in St. Pete?
No.
Or is it at the Tampa facility?
It was another facility.
Okay, I'm just curious. Okay.
I just can't think of the name right now. But this is the kicker, okay? Us women, like you men, we have to have that Wales woman exam. So you understand that we are in a compromised position when the doctor checks us down below. And he sees something while I'm on the table in that compromised position, and he uses a rod. Now, yeah. So a lot of times they'll do like an ultrasound, which is on your belly, but he saw something, so he had to look better, deeper, possibly. So he used a rod to view more what he saw inside of me. When he does, he says, oh my God. He gets on the phone and calls for another Dr. Stat.
Oh, that gives you a warm fuzzy, I'm sure.
I had such a warm fuzzy feeling for sure. He tells me to get dressed and he'd like to see me in his office. Now, Yeah, some of their bedside manners were not all that, at least to say. And when I sat in his office, he told me, he said, well, I saw a cystic mass.
Oh,
I said, okay. And he said, well, you'll have to have surgery. Okay. And then he said, we will have to do a biopsy before we proceed. I said, all right. And he said, well, we'll have to cut you down your belly button, from your belly button down. And I was like, yeah, no, we're not going to do that. And he said, well, we're going to have to, but I'll let you know after the biopsy. So needless to say, I followed up. I did the rest of the the battery test I had to do. And then I went in for the biopsy. Never heard nothing back from the VA hospital. So I'm just thinking, well, that's a good thing. I didn't hear back from them, right? But then something inside my head said, call them anyway. So I called the VA hospital, let them know, hey, you guys did a biopsy on me, but I never did hear back. And the lady comes back and she was like, well, we did see some cancer cells, but not enough to really determine the stage. And I was like, oh, okay, thank you. And then by that time, I knew I needed to get a second opinion. I did see a civilian doctor. He said there was a mass, a cystic mass, and there was no cancer at all. So
Really?
thank God, yes.
well, no, I mean, that's a good thing, but for them to call a second doctor and tell you that you need to cut you, and I'm glad that you had the sense enough to ask for that second opinion. I mean, well, like I told you on the phone the other night, Hope, I mean, you get people telling you stuff, and you're like, or don't have an answer, or you don't hear back. That's pretty unsettling. I told you my story. I mean, all of our stories are like, okay, you don't get the full scoop, or they don't know, and the cancer. So I'm sorry to interrupt, but go ahead.
That's just crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when I went to the Navy hospital because I was bleeding everywhere, and they just couldn't figure it out. So they sent me to my doctor, rushed me over there in the ship's van. We get there, I'm thinking, all right, I'm going to get some damn tests done. Oh, they did tests. They took this big ass freaking rubber tube, shoved it up my nose, went down into my stomach, and started pumping out blood, but they couldn't find an ulcer. And at that time, I was married, and she was in the Air Force. And I remember her coming in and saying, where's my husband? This. So she comes in, and she sees me with this tube hanging out. And the doctor walks in and goes, why is he awake? I was like, well, they were supposed to knock my ass out for this? I was like, and then the doctor was like, look, we're going to have to do some more tests. It's going to be a little bit uncomfortable. So he breaks out this tube, long tube, and it was glass. And I said, well, what's that for? He goes, well, we're going to have to go up the other end. And
Oh boy.
I started laughing. I was like, the hell no, you ain't doing that. Needless to say, they did it. And they couldn't find anything. They unexplained. But the Navy hospital reminded me a whole lot of the VA hospital now. The bedside manners. Like one of them said, I got my report back, renal kidney disease. And I'm like, oh my God, I got renal kidney disease. My daughter's like, don't worry about it. It's probably something else. So I never got that checked. And then they told me one time I had a spot on my brain, and I called my doctor. I said, hey, is there something on my brain scan that they did, MRI, that I had something on up there? And she was like, oh, yeah. We're going to send you to a neurologist about that. But it's like you got to call and follow up on your own shit.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's like, oh, yeah, it's all right, man. This guy right here, he's got, all kinds of shit wrong with him. But we'll let him call and figure it out as time goes on. Welcome to the VA.
Yeah.
Well, and when you're told Well, like I shared with Hope and Kevin, like I went in here recently because I thought recently within the last few days, I thought I had COVID because another person in my family had COVID real bad. Went in, you ain't got COVID, you got some virus. Don't know what it is, but no shit. And I okay. And I kind of
can't
just
make
chuckled.
this
I
up.
said, "That's par for the course. Don't know what it is, huh?" So and this is the civilian doctor.
I ain't never doing a COVID test again. I ain't letting nobody stick some
No.
shit up my damn nose ever again.
Oh.
Cause that shit, that shit burned for days, man. After
Yeah,
they
Man,
did
I'm
it.
just telling you, Kevin, you better stay on that boat. You stay on the boat.
I was like, damn, man. Every time you go up there, well, we got to do a COVID test. No, no. I'm not saying it. I'm tired of getting shit stuck up everywhere.
no thanks.
Rooter to the tutor.
All right, Wade. You haven't said a whole lot about this, but y'all's VA system. You and John got this great VA system in Iowa. Woohoo! But I mean, if they were to treat you like that, well, how would y'all handle that? I mean, honestly.
I'm like 99% satisfied. I mean, that's probably my biggest reason for not relocating. I've told you that before. The care here, we have the contract with the University of Iowa. So the actual doctors I see are from the university. So you're talking, world-class doctors.
Wow.
If there's serious stuff wrong, I've had serious stuff, you're getting top-notch care. My primary care, she is a VA doc, but she is top-notch. I did just have the colonoscopy and the endo. You were talking about the diverticulitis. I got diagnosed with that. I didn't, but that's one thing that you said, that instead of them calling and telling me, I did get a letter, and it was the diverticulitis. I went in, read the report. I can fumble through that, and they fixed a few things while they were in there. And then there was I had Barrett's syndrome, which that's another common thing with Gulf War veterans. This time around, it's a dysphagia of the esophagus. Not really sure what that is. When I talk to somebody, they're like, "Oh, that's horrible." Other person like, not so bad. Got to repeat the endoscopy in 2 months. Not sure what that is, but I haven't had the phone call from anybody.
Well, I think what that is, because I think that was in my report too. It's just that your esophagus is small. It's smaller.
I think the dysphagia has something to do with pre-cancer again, like with the Barrett.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I haven't got that far into it because I just didn't really care.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Hey, whenever I got done with my exam and they sent me outside, I didn't give a shit about anything in the world, man. I was yelling at everybody what all they told me I had.
Dude, I was hiring a kite.
I told everybody I had hemorrhoids. I was so proud. I'm sure everybody standing in front of that VA was like, "What the hell is he on?"
I don't remember leaving. Don't remember coming home. My brother said he threw me in the chair, and that was it. I slept like a baby.
Oh, I remember eating Whataburger. Oh my God, that was the best chicken I've ever had in my life. See, y'all don't have Whataburger, so y'all can kiss our ass.
No Whataburger. I'm thinking of something
Look,
similar
Miss
to
Hope
hamburger,
is over
but now you're
there.
saying
Hey,
chicken.
Miss Hope is up there going Whataburger. Yeah, it's awesome, man.
Awesome. Yes.
I had issues with my medication, and a couple emails back and forth, couple blood tests. Me and my doctor consulted about it. We came to a mutual agreement. She changed it. Try it for 6 weeks, see how it works. And so we have a great working relationship. So I have no complaints.
Yeah, see, that's I didn't have any complaints until they messed up on my medication, and not one doctor could call me. And then I had to call the crisis hotline because I became suicidal. And I mean,
Right.
that's the craziest thing about it. And hope this was about three weeks ago. I talked about last episode, and where I lost it. And thank God for my wife, man. My wife
So
was
sorry.
freaking
Yes.
awesome and everything. But that's last episode. This is this episode. So, Sarah, I'm going to bring you into this conversation on this because yours is different because yours is vaccine injury. Yours isn't, like what we went through. But it's funny how you're having the exact same symptoms, but yours are worse.
Wow.
That's the crazy part.
Yeah, it's definitely it's crazy that we really need to understand, we as the medical community, as the VA, as the United States government leaders who make policies and rulings, that we are an individualized patient, and we need individualized healthcare for that reason. And we as a nation are going that route. Eventually, we will see that in the future. But right now, what is key is conducting your root cause analysis. And I can help anyone that needs assistance to do that. And why that is important is if you don't find your root cause, all you're doing is continuing to treat the symptoms in hopes for a better life. If you continue to treat the symptoms, all you're going to do is continue to treat the symptoms. You'll never get to the root cause. You'll never treat the root cause of the diagnosis that's causing these symptoms. And so that's why it's so important to do your due diligence, stay in contact with your patient advocate. If you're not enjoying the conversation you're having with your doctors, find new ones. That's exactly what I had to do. I have been through the VA care system in Washington State, Texas, and now here in Michigan. I had to last year go to Washington State just so I could be seen through the Palo Alto Risk Center. I presented my root cause analysis to the nation's top doctors and specialists at the War-Related Injury and Illness Study Center in Palo Alto. These individuals have been studying this for decades. Dr. Ashford was the top doctor and continues to be the top evaluator at the Palo Alto Risk Center. He has conducted several engagement sessions, and last year he presented information to the Gulf War Illness Consultorium through the engagement session about that very topic Hope brought up of autonomic neuropathy. And his hypothesis is very concerning, and how the VA is not doing more research onto what is causing our autonomic neuropathy, the patterns that we are seeing from our Gulf War era veterans, not just those that went to war, but those that didn't, like myself, and what that presents in the body. When you talk about autonomic neuropathy, you're talking about every stimuli that comes to your body has a response. You're talking about your fight or flight, your rest or digest, your freeze or your flee. This is what your autonomic system does. And how it became damaged is from the toxicity that we've had throughout our military career. And it's not just our military service members and veterans that are experiencing this. We're seeing it again in our civilian vaccine injured community. We're seeing it in those that were water contamination, different environmental factors, and we will see it in those residents in Ohio, in East Palestine.
Yep.
This is something that if our EPA, if our CDC, if our FDA doesn't stand up for we the people and say, look here, US government, you need to do something for us, or we are continuing to see more cancer, more vaccine injured patients, more chronic illness across the nation. We are killing not just ourselves, but our planet. And we need to do a better job at taking care of ourselves.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. I mean, the people in East Palestine, man, our hearts go out to them, man. I'm telling you, because I mean, we know what it's like. We know what it's like to be chemical screwed up. I mean, shit. I mean, the stuff that they done to us, they can't take it back. There's nothing they can do. But I do want everybody to understand. On last week's episode, I called my congressman, my senator, a piece of shit. I still feel the exact same way today. But I do want everybody to know that when they wear them pins of the American flag on them, and you stand there and you want to talk about, we support our veterans, they get off your ass and support them. you know, shit or get off the pot.
That's right.
That's right, Kevin. And if I can say something, and I'm sorry to jump in here, but I am so fucking pissed off at our veteran community and the lack of support for all our veterans. Who gives a fuck if you went to combat or not? If you fucking raised your right hand, you're a goddamn veteran and you need to be taken care of regardless.
That's right.
That
Said my
right.
piece.
That
And
amen.
if you're part of the IAVA lobby group and you refuse to help every veteran get to that point, like you did with Burn Hits 360, how dare you? How dare you claim to be a lobbying group for our veterans and refuse to help us all?
That's right.
Oh, you tell him, sister.
That's right, girl.
Amen. I ain't never seen Sarah
I am
all.
I
Yeah.
am pissed the fuck off
Well,
at our
yeah.
veteran community.
It's true. I mean, why on God's green earth do you help one group but don't help the other
Yeah,
groups?
yeah,
All
yeah.
of us are one. Veterans need to come together and help each other. And that's the problem that we got going on. We got veterans out there that who are lobbying and everything, but you know, the senators are like, well, hey, we can't put sarin gas in there. Oh, we can't put mustard gas in there. Oh, we can't put you know, anthrax vaccine. We can't put this in there. Why? Then don't put any of it in. Don't put a damn thing. Don't do a little bit when a lot is suffering. And that's what I'm saying. For all you congressmen and senators and lobbyists that sit up there with that pen up there and y'all making all that damn money of the American flag on you, we don't want to put your ass there. Get off your ass and start doing something. Start taking care of the veterans. Start taking care of our country.
Yeah.
But after that, Francis, do you have anything else you would like to share before we go into the after show?
Yeah, you know, Kevin, being in Texas, we see a lot come in through the border. And you're going to give them more money, ship them to another state. Yeah, that's great. They're out of Texas, but they all are not out of Texas. We have some coming in from many different countries coming in through the border, through Mexico, and they're being well taken care of. But the soldier that put their life on the line, we've lost a lot of soldiers that were in Gulf War, but yet we won't be taken care of. I see it all the time on Facebook. People are like, y'all will take care of them that just came over the border illegal before you take care of the veteran. That ain't right. You know, they said something about all the Canadians that were in Gulf War, that even the Canadians have a saying that their medical did not take care of them, and they call it deny till they die. I think that's what our government has done with us. I think that's what the VA has done with us. They are going to deny till we die. How many of you did you say was in Gulf War? Did you say 70,000 veterans, but yet only a small amount filed? No, it wasn't a small amount filed. It was a small amount that's gotten approved because we kept getting disapproved. When I got all the proof to show you I have an injury and you don't want to take care of me, but you'll take care of those, because it's always about follow the money. I bet you whoever did purchase the anthrax to shoot us up with, I wonder who got paid for that. Someone got paid for it. The derailment, someone got paid for it. You always follow the money, but of course, that's neither here nor there.
I love it. I love it. Man, you women are fired up with me. I love this. I love this, man. Sarah,
We're a force to be reckoned with, Kevin.
Hey,
we're done with the way that our U.S. government leaders have been handling our nation. It's time that we all stand up.
Yeah,
it is right. Wait.
Yeah, actually, I will say that over this last couple of years, I stood my ground, lost a few friends, pissed off a few family members, but I refused to take the jab. But I will say that my DNA is intact, and if you've been following any kind of news in the last week, I think I'm pretty damn proud of myself that I stood for my own principles and morals and stood for what I believe in, and everybody else can kiss my ass if they, for whatever they thought of me.
John, come on, man. John?
You know me, I'm always rambling about something. I appreciate Hope coming on. This, yeah, it was upwards of 700,000 or better, Hope, that was deployed to the Gulf. And we hear various guesstimates on who's affected and who's not. I think the vast majority and also the vast majority don't necessarily realize that they're affected. And to Sarah's point, no, you don't have to have been deployed to have issues. And that's one of the things we try and make everybody aware of on this show. It's referred to as Gulf War side effects, but every branch of service, whether you were deployed during combat or not, if you're under Uncle Sam's care, there's a high probability that you probably got something going on that you can't recognize and you don't understand. And us, me, one of the old farts here, I'm not speaking for the rest of them because I don't get in trouble, especially with the ladies. There's a lot of issues going on, and it takes those of us who are willing to put our face forward out onto the front line, so to speak, and say, hey, here's what you plausibly could have wrong with you. We don't have all the answers, but we have a lot of experience about, well, we didn't know this was happening. We didn't know other people had this. So if you're not in the VA system, like Kevin said, get in it. You don't have to use it per se, but get in it for your family, and if you're in it, some places are better than others. It is what it is, whether I like it or not. And yes, to everybody's point about the politicians, if you wear the pin, wearing the pin is, it takes a lot of hoops. I can't spit that word out. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. It takes a lot of balls. Let's put it like that. Or big ovaries if you don't want to, support the veterans, and unless it benefits you somehow. That's not how it's designed. We're out there putting our best foot forward because we volunteered. The vast majority of us volunteered. All we expect is to acknowledge what we've been through and do the right things. Like I tell my kids, real easy to do the wrong things. Sometimes it just takes a lot bit more oomph to do the right things. Step up, do the right things.
And I'm gonna leave it at this before we go to after the show. God, country, family, and fellow vets. Everybody out there needs to understand the words that we're talking about tonight. We're all in this together, every single one of us. So let's just stand together and make sure that we take care of one another. Veterans, stop fighting veterans. We need to start connecting with each other. Yep. And let's stop doing the bullshit. So with that being said, I want to thank everybody for listening tonight. Stay on for the after show. Miss Hope, all y'all have a great night. Thank you. Thank you for listening to Gulf War Side Effects. If you have a story or you would like to share or just come on with any comments or questions, please email me at kevinsimon@gulfwarsideeffects.com.